Where was the mystery? From where I was standing on the hotel veranda, nothing strange was visible, only the mystical beauty of an enhanced summer evening in high desert New Mexico. Tall, blue-tinged mountains, billowing white clouds, and the light brown of low-lying Spanish-style adobe buildings blending into the landscape. I breathed deeply of the scented winds, found the oncoming coolness of evening, and wondered what the night would bring. Something more substantial than breezes, I hoped. Maybe an explanation for why I was there. Go to the plaza in Santa Fe for the summer solstice celebration, the email message had read. There you'll meet a man wearing white pants and a blue shirt. He will give you what you need to know. I hadn't been able to trace the sender of that terse command, and curiosity as usual had the better of me. So here I was in the city different, about to visit the site of that celebration, hopefully to meet an unknown man and obtain unknown but interesting information. Whatever any of that meant. I walked down the broad stairs and stared toward the plaza, the center of town, my old friend and sometime investigative partner, old Zach, keeping up with my stride. Invisible torrents of sweet-smelling wind continued to sweep through the shadowed streets, cascading down from the Sangre de Cristo mountains to the east, bringing with them a promise of impending rain. The English translation of that melodious name, Sangre de Cristo, is blood of Christ, an appellation incongruous for such a beautiful locale. The Spanish place names, in their resonant syllables, today mask the stark and brutal mindset with which the early conquistadores viewed the magnificent landscape, assessing their reign only in the value of gold and blood and slaves. However, a few dedicated priests, more concerned with immortal souls than transient riches, had at least moderated the material with their spiritual designations. Good old guys, I thought. Their ethereal nomenclature had outlasted the rusted steel of the warriors' swords. The color comes from the evening light. Old Zach, he always insisted I call him that, which I inevitably shortened to just OZ, a strangely appropriate abbreviation at times, said, "Sunset turns these mountains really pretty red." I nodded. Further to the south, in Albuquerque, where my plane had landed, they had named their mountains to the east for the same rosy phenomenon, but with gentler names. Watermelons and apples, again in the much more lyrical Spanish, sandias and manzanos. What a wonderful difference in cultures, in language. No Anglo-settler would have called them anything like that. They would have been the Lincoln Mountains or Teddy Roosevelt Mountains. I marveled at this history lesson. It was a wonder that with such diversity of backgrounds the human race coexisted as well as it did, wars and all. At least here in New Mexico's rugged, rocky peaks there were no Spanish equivalents of the French Grands Tetons. That morning I had picked up a rental vehicle at the airport in Albuquerque, an SUV big enough to warrant its nickname, Suburban Assault Vehicle, driving it to Santa Fe and leaving it at the hotel about 6 blocks from the center of town. Zach had met me there, giving me a brief report on his findings. OZ was a tall, lanky old codger with sun-darkened skin, brown and wrinkled like the mountains, dressed in jeans and denim jacket like a working cowboy. He had emerged from one of the overstuffed brown leather chairs in the hotel lobby as I came in. "Haven't been able to find out much, partner," he said, a puzzled visage crackling the topography of that face. "Nobody's expecting you that I could find out. No special welcome for the famous New Age writer and all that, and nothing unusual about a guy in a blue shirt and white pants. That's a few thousand folks out this way. And that valley you asked about? Hell, there's hundreds of them out in all directions. Take your pick." I had thanked OZ, looking over the 2 typed sheets he handed me. All that was happening in Santa Fe today was the summer solstice celebration, probably just another excuse for real New Age believers and their wealthy Santa Fe groupies to throw a party and market or buy some esoteric items.